How y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Great.
So I just want to start this off asking about Michael Gardner. Obviously, he's coming back for the first time in 8 months, playing 11s. Just how massive has it been for his presence to be back in the fold?
I mean, it's really good to have him back, man, because, inside position, you need that depth. I mean, guys' bodies take a beating, but, we can keep him healthy, man. He brings a really good twitchy element to our defense, so I can't wait to see what he continues to do.
Coach, have you seen any of your players in your career on defensive line up at wide receiver?
Woo! No, I think as far as we've gone, we had a defensive end, Everson Griffin, line up at gunner. That's probably about as close as we ever come. But no, a wide receiver, no. And for Clayton to be, a wide receiver, he's a pretty good edge rusher.
How does Clayton playing wide receiver kind of help him for defense? Or how can it help him?
No, I think it was smart because we had him over there, running around, getting himself in shape because he hadn't been with us in the off season. And I think it was a good thing, to get that done and not have him take the pounding early. So, and I think it kind of, it added to his perspective about, what offenses do and what they do in certain situational football things. So I think it's going to make him a better leader as far as that's concerned.
Did you have Jalen at Michigan State?
I did.
Okay, so did that have anything that must have had something to do with him coming here and wanting to learn from you?
Well, we can go even further back than that. I mean, I recruited JT when I was at Stanford as well. So, we had a relationship going back to then I ended up at Michigan State, and he actually played as a freshman. We got a few games into the season. I saw who this young man was, and I asked him, I said, man, do you want to burn your shirt? I mean, I knew our situation up there, but I said, do you want to burn your shirt? I said, if I burn your shirt, I'm going to play you. And he played, and he started for me the rest of the season.
Coach, you and Vince are super involved, not just in coaching verbally, but actively showing the players how to adjust. How important is it for coaches to be enthusiastic coaching the D-line?
It means a lot. I mean, I think you have to be able to show them. You have to show them, what body position you want. I think Vince brings a very good element of the intensity because he has a lot of passion for this place, and also having played defensive tackle. But I think it's very important, for a coach to be able to get out there in some aspects and show what we can do.
And with CJ and obviously Clayton back, and even I know Roman, but a lot of new guys, how do you feel that they've picked up the defense so far in the installment, and but the guys that have returned have kind of helped them grow?
The guys have been really instrumental in helping everybody grow. And I mean, I like the way this group is starting to gel. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed. I think everybody's really pushing for positions. We give them a lot. We threw a lot of them out, and we pretty much got the whole playbook in. For those guys to absorb that, you see a few practices ago we had a little lull, but you get paralyzed a little bit, but hey, we come through it. But I think the guys have done an outstanding job pushing each other through it and making things correlate from scheme to scheme.
Coach, with so many threats on offense, what do you want to see from the D-line in order to hinder big plays?
Get off. I want to see knockback. I mean, I think you hear Coach Amy saying it a lot. Get off, knock back, knock guys back, get off block. That's what we need. We need vertical penetration on our defense. That's what our defense really thrives on. We can get that from our inside guys, our front four, and then being able to affect the quarterback. We finally got a tip ball today. I'm like, thank God. Put them behind the sticks a little bit. Can we tip the balls and get them in super third and long so we can actually go rush the passer? That's those are the things that we need to see.
The coach, speaking of leadership, Owen Long, it's obvious how cerebral he is, how he just telegraphs plays and whatnot. Do you think that he's had an impact on the defensive line in terms of being a leader and a coach for the whole defense? Owen Long.
Who?
Owen Long. For the D line, do you think he's aided the D line out at all?
Owen Long. Right?
He's a linebacker.
He's the linebacker.
Excuse me, the linebacker. You got me.
Yeah.
Look, all I listen for the linebackers to do two things: give us the close call, all right, and get the double teams off of us. If you're asking about that, he's doing an outstanding job, all right? Because all we do is really hear voices. I'm sorry, I don't really look at the fits and whatnot on the back end. I'm just be totally honest with you. In the drop, I let Coach Scoop handle all that stuff. But if he's doing that, he's doing an outstanding job.
What kind of growth have you seen out of the young guys, specifically guys like Deshaun Morgan?
Deshaun is really growing. He's been able to hold on to his weight. That's been the big thing. But his next part is trying to learn how to pass. He's a real student of the game. You ought to see his notebook. But sometimes it's kind of analysis and paralysis all at the same time. But he's starting to get through that. That's some of the freshman stuff. You can learn too much and not just go. But I think now he's putting it all together and he's starting to just go. And it's good to see him develop like that.
A few times Dillingham has singled out Julian Hugo. What's impressed you about Julian so far?
Everything. Julian's different. I mean, you know, the guy that, you know, the size that he brings, the stature that he brings, and not only that, to be such a young guy and be so conscientious about the way he learns the game. He has a thirst for knowledge. He's coming up, trying to meet all the time. I'm throwing the book at him. He's absorbing all of it. And heck, he might even find a place on the cheetah rush to be able to rush inside. But, you know, really special kid. I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues to grow in our defense.
Coach, how important is it for players to coach each other up instead of down during practice?
Say it one more time.
How important is it for players and coaches to talk to each other up instead of down throughout practice?
I think it kind of goes both ways. You know, I mean, you know, we're trying to approach each other in a way where, you know, especially as coaches lift each other up, but we want to get some rivalry out here. I mean, you see how Coach Dillingham does. You know, we want everybody at everybody's throat during practice, but at the end of practice, we're going to all love it up, hug it up. But we got to create that chaos on the field. And I think Coach Dillon does a great job of creating that chaos between coaches and between players. But at the end of the day, we're going to be that team that we need to be.
What's it been like to have a guy like Leaf, who was on the offensive side of the ball and now is kind of helping you guys out on defense?
Outstanding. I mean, I'm so glad we got him. I mean, Leaf is a breath of fresh air. I mean, he brings the offensive knowledge to the table. He talks about blocking schemes with me. He talks about things that might hurt the offense. Just different things about where guys have their eyes, where they have their hands. He brings really important element, you know, to our defense. He's going to help us a ton this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
With the improvements your group made in pass rush last year, if I remember correctly, a big emphasis was placed on team rush. What about this group do you think they're handling at the team rush aspect?
I think they are, but you know, it's going to be different every year just because of the nature of college football right now. You got a bunch of new guys, and you have to reteach it every year. You know, you don't get lucky like we did last year to have that same cohesion. So you got to be able to teach it every year, get those guys together, them learning each other really quick to know what the guy next to you can do, and that's where we are now. But it's still a group rush effort. You know, 4 still equals 1. Especially here at Arizona State.
Coach, with newcomers stepping up on the defensive line, have you seen them fall down, make mistakes, but get right back up and try and attack that next play?
Yeah, we don't let guys dwell on the bad stuff. You know, once they go fast, go hard, let us fix it, and they've been doing a good job of that. You know, we try to have a next play mentality over here. We don't dwell on the bad stuff. We teach off of it, and we just keep moving on.